I can do more of me on this one. The screen doesn't matter as much, except if I share a screen. All right, it says Scotchy Bourbon Boys live. Yep, we are live. Um, yeah, probably could zoom in a little. Maybe not that much. How about that? All right, so we're live. I got to make sure those microphones are working. All right, here we go. Ooh, decent amount of people on Facebook. All right, we start at 8:30 tonight. We are doing the President's Day podcast. That's fantastic. Um, just just hang in there. We're doing the Cinder and Smoke 10-year bard that they released during the inauguration for a president, 4547 Patriots Edition. We want to see what's in there, and the America's 47 from Log Still Distillery. And those are the three, and we are going to give you detailed, uh, a good detailed podcast on that. I gotta make sure the YouTube is working. Let's go here. Let's make sure we're live. All right, here we go. Right there. Get this off. All right, we are live. We're gonna go there. All right. Let me get in a little bit closer. I gotta move over a little bit. Right there. So that's looking pretty good. I gotta make sure there's sound. All right, we got sound for YouTube. All right, we're going to be ready to start right at 8:30 tonight, folks. Well, I should do the greeting. All right. Welcome to our Scotchy Bourbon Boys podcast. We monitor comments and we want to know where you're from and what you're sipping on. Make sure to leave a super chat. There we go. We are ready to go. This is not our normal night, so I have no idea what kind of response we're going to get. I don't know, but oh God, why? All right, right back in. So it started over. Let's go to live. Sometimes you can get it. All right. I don't like being behind. All right. Stop pushing things. All right, here we go. Should be able to go like that. Catch up to the live. I'm paused. There we are. There we are. All right, I'm back in. I'm back in. We've still got about 5 minutes to go. What time is it? 8:25. Let's do our sponsors. One of our sponsors is Whiskey Thief Distilling Company in Frankfort, Kentucky, along with their tasting room in the Louisville area of Kentucky. And Whiskey Thief Distilling Company produces some fantastic bourbons and ryes. Their Three Boys Farm distillery that they have in Frankfurt is an experience unlike any other that you'd ever have. You walk in for the price of admission. It's a barrel pick all day, every day. They will sample from 5 different barrels. They sample it with a thief right into your glass. If you like one or you're satisfied with one, you have the ability to purchase a bottle right from that barrel. But it's even better. They're going to give you either a 375 or a 750 milliliter, and you're going to be able to use a whiskey thief and thief it right by yourself, all by yourself, right into the bottle. Fantastic whiskeys. There's going to be 5 differents to choose from. Usually it's a rye, there's a wheated, and then there's 3 different uh, rye bourbons there's a rye, a wheated bourbon, and then 3 rye bourbons. And those bourbons, those high rye bourbons, you get this are anywhere between 4 and usually 7 or 8 years. Same thing with the wheat. It's fantastic, and the ryes are spectacular. Tiny doesn't really like rye, but I like ryes from Whiskey Thief Distilling Company. You got to stop in, say hi, tell everybody that the Scotchy Bourbon Boys sent you, either CT, Tiny, or Super Nash, and then also make sure that when you're there that you just hang out, either at, because the atmosphere of hanging out is what they're good at. They've got a food truck on the farm, along with mixed drinks bar, the barrel pick experience, and then also they've got tailgate toss, they've got a fire pit, live music on the weekends. You just gotta get out there. The staff's great. Walter, everybody out there that we are always with. You've got Lisa Roper Wicker, Ben Eves, and Kelly Tennille all distilling out there. And when you go out there, you never know who you're going to see. You could see the owner, and his brother is part of the tasting team. The tasting team's amazing. Every time you go out there, you're going to have a good time. So, Whiskey Thief Distilling Company in Frankfurt and Louisville, remember, they're just like us, uncut and unfiltered. Now, Middle West Spirits in Columbus, Ohio. Fantastic distillery there. Their craft distillery, what they're putting on the shelf, this Michelob brand. They've got their straight wheat whiskey, cast strength. They got the straight 4 grain bourbon, weeded bourbon. They're straight 4 grain weeded bourbon, cast strength, and then their pumpernickel rye cast strength, all on the shelves right now in all 48 states. You should be able to pick this up. Their downtown location in Columbus is fantastic. It's their original craft distillery, still running it full out. And then along with their service bar restaurant, the food is fantastic. Stop in, do a tasting, have a meal. No matter what, you can't go wrong. And then we're all awaiting the opening of the campus of their 72,000 square foot distillery that they just built in the Columbus area also. But that area is just being he is being refortified, refurbished, whatever you want. This distillery here is going to change that area and economically revive it. So you got to stop by Middle West Spirits in Columbus, Ohio. Tell them the Scotchy Bourbon Boy. You heard about them on the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, but you got to pull. I mean, the wheat whiskey and their weeded 4 grain weeded bourbon is cast strength is fantastic. Then we got the Spirit of French Lick in French Lick, Indiana. This is Alan Bishop, who's going to be on the podcast tomorrow night. It's his old distillery, and his whiskey's there, just getting fantastic. Got a chance to taste it this last past Bourbon on the Banks, and it was wonderful. But we have this Lillian Sinclair right here, which is one of his passion projects, and we were lucky enough to pick these bottles up. So if you're ever interested in tasting history, this bottle to me is history. So contact me, and I'll let you know how you can do it. The Spirit of French Lick in French Lick, Indiana. Stop in, say hi, taste some fantastic bourbon, and tell them the Scotchy Bourbon Boys sent you. And then there's Alan Bishop, who sponsors our podcast and is on tomorrow night. Alan Bishop was at the Spirit of French Lick. He's now at Old Homestead Distilling Company, and the Old Homestead Distilling Company is going to be he's going to be telling you everything about Old Homestead tomorrow. But Alan does a YouTube channel called One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute, and you have to check it out. If you're interested in distilling, you're going to want to check out One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute. He answers questions that most people don't even know to ask. And when they do ask them, he's got the answers. And if he doesn't, he'll go research it and find out the answers. Everything about the history of distilling in Indiana and distilling history in general, Alan is becoming a historian. The detail that he puts into distilling, he puts it into his One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute. And then last but not least, he has his If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. It's a spirit podcast about the spirit industry and the stories that are mixed with it in the spiritual realm. So you can't go wrong. Fantastic podcast. You got to make sure Alan Bishop, he's going to be on tomorrow night, and you're going to want to come and see that also. But tonight, we're going to get ready. It's time to go. We are going to do our President's Day uh, special podcast, President Day podcast, and we've got Cinder and Smoke. We've got 45, 47 Patriots Edition, and we've got America's 47. We are going to break down. We are going to do the old Louisville Whiskey Company barrel bottle breakdown of these three and tell you which is the best and how good they are. So let's get this podcast started. All right. Good. We've got that. We've got liftoff. We're gonna get that first 30-second ad. I'll be quiet for that, and then we'll get this rolling. Woo! Yeah, we are here to have some fun. Woo! Woo! I'm getting wild. I'm getting wild. All right. Welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Tiny here tonight. I am. Let's get this set up. This is a special President's Day podcast. I'm glad that you all have joined me. We have Teflon Don, which I'm not sure if Telfon Don is the same as Tater Don, but it could be. So maybe he can clear that up on. But he shared it on one of the things you can do, especially on Facebook. If you share this podcast has been shared to a ton of groups. But if you share it personally while you're watching, hey, there you go. There we go. Howdy. That's from Frey Not the podcast. It's good to see that you're watching tonight. But this President's Day podcast is in response to really the fact that on Thursday, I will be packing and getting ready to start my trip down to Kentucky and then to Florida. So next week, Tuesday, Thursday, there could be one podcast that could be put onto the audio that we might be able to get because we're going to try and get down to Kentucky and do a podcast there. Whether it be Whiskey Thief or Old Carter or whatever would like to record one and do a live on this coming Friday or Saturday, and then load that on Tuesday. But there'll be no for sure Thursday from Florida, and then we'll get back at it the next following week. But tomorrow night, tonight we're doing the President's Day. The reason why I felt it was really kind of a reason to do it is that we were going to do this podcast last Thursday. I was set up. I was organized. I was even in a tux. And Macaulay Minton of Dark Arts, he decided that he was going to hijack the podcast. So, based off of that, which is crazy, thinking that the podcast gets hijacked, and Thomas Anderson, good to see you here, gets hijacked by Macaulay Minton of Dark Arts. And I was all ready to go. I have so much research done on these. I had a whole podcast outline on what to do with each one, and each one having its own. It's right here. I got them all. They're right here, having its own. Oh my God. Sometimes I don't understand why I can't grab this Cinder and Smoke, America's 47, and the Patriot. That should have. That's the Patriots. Production and maker key detail. Wait, okay, what is it? 47. Yeah, the Patriot Edition. All right, so I got the Patriot Edition, and I got America's 47. I got information on all of them. All right, so I'm sitting there getting all this. What would you say? All this information, all the research to really do this good, because I was able to get this from the Bard. Was given to me, and it was given to me by Kim Bard, and it was based off of it was a, what would you say, offering where we got into somewhat of an argument, and both of us were very apologetic because we both didn't want to. That's not what bourbon's about, getting into an argument. And so this was gifted to me, and I'm going to tell you, it's already a fantastic bottle. I've worked on it. All these have now been open. These were fresh cracks, the America's 47 on last Thursday, but they've been open since then. I was able to sift through, but not give anybody information or make the podcast seem like it was any kind of podcast. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. President's Edition. We will be doing a rating on each one, and I will be giving you information on each one, because there's not a lot of information when you're doing this. It's like, so, and this is one thing, it's President's Day. The president, it's very unique that this president doesn't drink. So having a whiskey, that's interesting in itself. Be something that they advertise on. I wasn't able to get. I'm not trying to make a political statement at all. I just want to know what's in the bottles. So there's a lot of questions and a lot of things. And when we were with Wally Dant this year and did our podcast with Wally from the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, we were able to taste this, and all of it seems, if I remember, it was pretty damn good. And from the podcast on Thursday, it was pretty. But I just wanted to give this podcast. I mean, I spent a lot of time and effort getting this podcast going. So to do it actually on President's Day is really kind of cool, a cool thing, right? Wouldn't you say? What I will say is we're www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We've got the t-shirts, as I'm wearing tonight. We've got the Glens. I mean, it's just, I'm wearing, it's just, this is kind of the cool podcast. I'm really liking the Ray-Bans, the Meta Ray-Bans, and it could become partially a thing, because not that I don't mind my eyes, but as this is going, they get squintier and squintier. So this way, there's a lot of cool things that are happening. I know the ring light reflects into it a little bit. I might be able to figure that out at one point. But I love the look. I love what's happening. I love the bumps of people watching since I started it. I think what happens is they see it. It's a little bit interesting. So, liking the look. But like I said, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Glens are available. There are bourbon balls and T-shirts. Let me know. And then we are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube X and TikTok. Check us out there. We're on Patreon. Support us there, but you also can support us on YouTube. Become a member on YouTube. You can subscribe to us on Facebook, and you can join Patreon. All of them will get you special kind of things. I'm waiting on Patreon before I do special podcasts. But this podcast, if it is, I could throw in this podcast for the special podcast for members. So there's a lot of different things that can happen, and I'm excited about what's happening. And then also we're on Apple, iHeart, and Spotify. But no matter what, whether you listen to us or you watch us, make sure that you listen, like, subscribe, leave good feedback. And then tonight, I challenge everybody listening to go to Apple Podcasts and leave a 4-star review if you like what you see, because a 5-star review, I'm sorry. But if you do that, that really helps us out. That really gets us going and gets us more listeners and viewers. And right now, we are the eighth. We are the. It was the ninth largest bourbon podcast, and which cracked the top 10 for the first time. But we're also the second largest whiskey podcast according to FeedSpot, and that is really kind of a cool thing. So if you're listening for the first time, enjoy. But if you're even if you're on Facebook, also I'm monitoring comments on Facebook and YouTube. Leave a comment. Let us know what you're drinking on or sipping on tonight. And we do have Bard Distillery watching. So this should be a real fun podcast. I'm here tomorrow night. I have Alan Bishop on. He's coming on of Old Homestead Distillery, and we should have Super Nash on. Super Nash is going to, and hopefully we could pull in a CT, but CT on Tuesdays and Thursdays, it's been what would you say, a rough ride to try and get him on, but we'll see what happens. All right. So let's get into this particular podcast. All right. I mixed up all my stuff here. Cinder and Bourbon Showdown. All right. There's the outline. All right. Here we go. Tonight we've got these 3 bourbons. We've got the Cinder and Smoke, the Bard 10-year release. We've got the 45-47 Patriot Edition, and we've got the America's 47, all with President Day aspects. And tonight, we are gonna see by doing this is the first time we did 3, but this is the Old Louisville Whiskey Company barrel bottle breakdown. The Old Louisville Whiskey Company is in Louisville. They're in the process of moving from their Louisville location to their Shively location. They're back and forth, but check out their Old Louisville Whiskey Company.com. Get a hold of Amin, contact him, and make sure you get down to either place because it's fantastic whiskey. He releases nothing more before 7 years old, and then also this is how he started a brand. He was a liquor store owner that bought a lot of barrels. All of a sudden, he had a barrel collection. So then he warehoused them. Then he started warehousing more. And so he's like, well, let's just start the Old Louisville Whiskey Company. And then he was buying, and he puts out a fantastic product. He purchased in the past year a still that he was assembling. So he's going to basically do some distilling there. And he's got his new space in Shively, which is one of the old Brown and Seagram's warehouses that were down there that he's got a lot of space and everything. It's going to be an awesome improvement, or not improvement, but awesome expansion. There you go. That's perfect. But the Old Louisville Whiskey Company, if you go down there, tell them the Scotchy Bourbon Boys sent you, CT or Tiny or Super Nash, and definitely check out the Old Louisville Whiskey Company. Now, the Old Louisville Whiskey Company's barrel bottle breakdown consists of 4 different categories. It consists of the nose, the body, the taste, and the finish. Now, each one of those categories, you can get in the first 2 categories, the nose and the body, you can get up to 4 knocks on the barrel. With my bung hammer right here and the barrel behind us, so you can get up to 4 for the nose and the body, but you could get up to 5 for the taste and the finish. We've evolved this fantastic scale based off over the years of what we thought the taste and the finish was a little bit more important than the body and the nose. Also, you could give those up to 5, but if you find one category exceptional, you can give that category a butt up, and that is 1 more knock on the barrel, and we will see what we're talking about right now, and we are going to pour out the samples, but we're going to, as I pour, I'm going to keep going in. So America's 47 is in the first run. Pour a sample of number 1, America's 47. Now, so nice. This is, all right, I'll give a little history on it. All right, I gotta basically slide that there. I'm going to America's 47. All right, is one of Log Still's signature bourbon expressions, known for blend, a carefully blended combination of 2 high rye bourbons and 1 wheated bourbon aged between around 5 to 7 years. Proof bottled at 47 ABV, so we're at 94 proof, a deliberate nod to the distillery's DSP Kentucky 47 designation and the spirit's name. It also doesn't actually say it, but you could assume that we are in the current term of our 47th president. So it all kind of works out that their DSP is 47, the proof is ABV 47, and our president currently is 47. Now, here we go. America's 47 was crafted to celebrate Kentucky's heritage and bourbon's role in Americans' culture. It was even featured at the Bluegrass Ball in Washington, D.C., a prestigious event tied to historical celebrations. The distillery emphasizes traditional bourbon craftsmanship while also honoring a community and history through its releases. All right, so there we go. That is 47. Now we're going to number 2. What is it? 45, 47 Patriot Edition. Put a little bit of that in number 2. It's opened up very nicely. Now, what is Patriot Edition? 4547 Patriot Edition American Whiskey is a small batch premium American whiskey released as a limited or special edition honoring patriotic themes and American leadership. The name refers to the numbers 45 and 47, symbolically connected to U.S. presidential history and American pride. I love how they do this. The production of makers. And maker. It is crafted and marketed under the 4547 whiskey brand, a craft whiskey producer focused on small batch premium spirits. The whiskey is not produced by Log Still Distillery, which makes America's 47 bourbon, but a separate American whiskey brand producer. Let's see. Tasting style. Patriotic themes marketed as a tribute to the American heritage and leaders reflected in both name and branding, especially referencing 45 and 47. Limited release, often treated as collectible or special edition due to small batch production. Premium positioning, positioned as a higher end American whiskey in its segment, appealing to collectors and enthusiasts. Now, this is, oh, well, I might have to check this one out to see, but it said generally, I might have to flip off and get onto the other glasses. Let's see if I can do this. The 92 proof, just like it said. I'm sure that that was exactly what they said it was on this particular, which is 46 ABV, which 45 and 45 and 47, so it's 92 proof, 46 ABV, right in the middle. Small batch limited release, often featured as Patriot Edition on bottles and listing. Origin USA, distilled and crafted. Now, let's just see. I got to get back to, that's that one. Which one is this? All right, bottle 147, bottle 2, okay. All right, proof clean, tasting notes, discussing points. How does this side by side comparison, mixology, final verdict? Oh, that's what I got on it. As far as I think it's called, I'll do this again. It's the first time, and let's see. Made in America. America has been waiting for 4 long years for this finally, after patiently and meticulously aging to perfection. 4547 American whiskey is here to win the day. The award winning small batch whiskey embodies the determination and integrity that makes America great. Sip neat to savor the oaky notes and subtle sweetness, or mix it into your favorite cocktails. Whiskey Patriots are proud to pour. All right. Bottled and blended by Wise Spirits Bottling Company, Bardstown, Kentucky. There you go. It was Wise Spirits. If it's bottled and, did it say bottled and blended by Wise Spirits? So they might have done that at Bardstown Bourbon Company. I'm not sure, but it was done somewhere in Bardstown. So that's kind of cool. All right. Number 3. Here we go. Number 3. This is Cinder and Smoke by the Bard Distilling Company. Tonight, Kim Bard is the reason why I have this wonderful bottle, and I want to highlight their distillery. First time I sat down with Kim was after Kentucky Bourbon Festival 2024 with Martin Duffy out in front of Mr. Tubbs. What a night that was. I think Aaron Harris was hanging out with us also, and it was kind of cool. So let's see. Mad Acoustic. He says, hello, Matt. All right. I am Tiny is, let's see. I'm going to read the bottle too because it makes sense to do this. But let's first get this going as far as flavor. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, not that one. We will find the right guide for what I'm looking for. There's the podcast. There's 2 more right here. American. Yeah, that's not it. I'm done with that. Here it is. All right. This is Bard Distillery is an independent craft whiskey producer based in the heart of Kentucky's bourbon regions. The distillery focuses on small batch, high quality expressions that emphasizes traditional Appalachian distilling techniques with careful aging and flavor and complexity. All right. Cinder and Smoke. It is Kentucky straight bourbon, aged 10 years, giving it an extended barrel influence and deeper character. Typically bottled around the mid 90s to low 100s, varies by batch. Category small batch. All right, so let's see. We'll go with this, as always. All right. Continuing the award-winning heritage of Cinder and Smoke, Bourbon Founders Select is a special project that requires special attention in the course of sampling our mature spirits. Sometimes there are barrels that start out. Our founders, Thomas and Kim Bard, set these barrels aside, experimenting with different combinations until they create a unique spirit that holds true to the flavor, feel, and finish that you expect from Cinder and Smoke. Each very small batch of Cinder and Smoke Founders Select consists of only 3 barrels of mature Kentucky straight bourbon. The limited edition spirit you are holding was selected, blended, bottled, labeled, and signed by our founders, a true statement to the care and detail that you expect from the craft bourbon. Blended and bottled by the Bard Distillery, Graham, Muhlenberg County, Kentucky. All right, now this one's 10 years. This one is 100 proof. 50%, yep, it's right there, and it is signed. This is bottle number 88 of 497. It won double gold at the 2022 SIP Awards. All right, so here we go. All right, we're going to get this ready, and we are going to nose, and then we'll figure out the body, and then we'll start tasting. So, in the glass, the out of the 3, obviously the Cinder and Smoke is the darkest when you're talking about visual. Um, the 47 and the 47 are very similar in color, but it's not even close on this. This has a nice rich amber on the 10-year. All right, so noses. I'm gonna nose this tasting profiles. All right. The 47, I get a confectionery sugar, some ethanol, and a little bit of banana. The 46, 47. It's so vanilla. I'm picking up like a Brock's vanilla, one of the Tootsie Rolls, but it's Brock's. It's just, this is the vanilla one. And then on the Bard, Cinder and Smoke. I'm picking up rich caramel. All right, we're gonna see what we got here. That's not even a fair note. All right, here we go. Oaky sweetness, vanilla, and caramel undertones on that one. Let's just see what we got on the. Where are we? We're there. We're there. And then on this one, there is cinnamon, nutmeg, I mean, a little bit of black pepper. A lot of caramel, and it's got like a toasted with a little smoky oak. Wonderful. Okay, now we're gonna go through. I got to keep this straight. So I haven't had anything at all today. So here we go. Yeah, it's more like confectionery sugar, the with oaky and a little bit of ethanol. Then when you get into this one is just vanilla with a little caramel. They all smell spectacular. All right, so here we go. The 40, America's 47 on the nose, I give a 3 out of 4. The Patriot 40, the 4547 Patriot Edition, I give a 3 out of 4. And on the Cinder and Smoke, it's a little bit more complex, and I will give it a 4 out of 4. All right, now comes the body. Each one of these can be rolled. That's what I love about these Scotchy Bourbon Boy Glencairns. And if you need one, you need to contact me. I will get one out to you right away. But in the glass, the 4547, it sticks, and this is at 94 proof. And the legs are long and develop quickly. Now that was on America's 47. On the 4547, which is 92 proof, it sticks a little bit longer to the glass. Hasn't started deciding it wants to go back in. So the viscosity on this one's a little bit more, but what are the legs? Are they going to be as thick? Might have to revisit this one after I roll the Cinder and Smoke. All right, what happens here? Oh my God, it coats it. Let's see what's happening over here. All right, so these are thinner on the 92 proof, but on the 94 proof, they're very similar. But what's happening on the bar? They are long and a lot thicker. All right, so we got a taste to get. So what I consider to be body is the mouthfeel. Is it oily, and is the flavor? How much of the flavor hits all parts of the palate? 5 or a 4 with the butt up. Usually has to have the flavor getting in your cheeks, on the roof of your mouth, underneath your tongue, and then it has to have a really smooth, what would you say, silky mouthfeel. So here we go on the 47, America's 47. I will tell you, flavor, palate, roof of your mouth, underneath your tongue, but really doesn't hit the cheeks. Should really do this. All right. Now we're going to do the 45, 47 Patriot Edition. Ooh, lower proof, bigger body. All right. I wonder if that's because of the. Here we go. That's really interesting. The difference between the two. Here we go. Now we're going to do the cinder and smoke. All right. All fantastic. All right. Out of 5, I'm going to give the, out of 4, because it's a body, I'm going to give, doesn't hit the cheeks. So it's average. So I'm going to give it a 2 on America's 47 for body. On the Patriot, if I could give it half, but I will give, I got to give it a 2 too. And on the cinder and smoke, I have to give it a 4. Now, just trying to see what's going on if I can do this way. Yeah. All right. So I give it a 4. No, I gave those two, and I give the cinder and smoke a 3 for body. 3 out of 4. All right. We go up now to 5s as far as taste. Now, the palate on this America's 47. Here we go. There's definitely baking spice. A bit of a nuttiness. I'm not sure which one. And almost like Oh, it's like when you have the rum cake, but it's not, you get the alcohol flavor, but this is more like caramel with that alcohol. So what would that be, like a toffee? There's a little bit of toffee, but this one, the 40 America's 47 has a bourbon, uh, not a dessert bourbon flavor, a bourbon flavor. And if you love bourbons that aren't too sweet, this is a really, really good bourbon. Now, when it comes to the 45, 47, this one, I will say, let's see. This one is like bacon, candied bourbon bacon. There's a little bit of spice. The bacon is rich and it's candied. I don't know if it's, but it's got a bacony flavor and it's sweet. So there's a certain amount of candy the candied bacon has. There's that sweetness. So that's pretty good. Takes us to where we go now on the Cinder and Smoke. Now this one is more complex because it's 10 years. Does it count that? Let's see. So on the front palate, you get that caramel, like a toasted caramel. It's more like a caramel that's got like brown sugar sprinkled on it. Then it's got, that's on the front. As you swallow, it becomes a little bit of like a toasted oak, and the baking spices come out. Um, More nutmeg than cinnamon. I'd say there's a little bit of cinnamon, but then this one has the longest finish, that's for sure. And then there's like some pepper on the back and a little bit of, yeah, that's, it's like finishes up with that little bit of pepper. All right, so we're at tastes. Um, if I had to pick, this is straight across the board. You know, what's so weird is that each one is unique in its own way. So, let's see, 3 out of 4. 4 out of 4, 3, 3, and I believe 4, and then 2, 2, 3. Okay, so 5, 5, 4, 7, 5, 5, 7. So taste, you can get up to 5. The strongest point on America's is that this tastes like bourbon. If you love bourbon, this is a 4 out of 5. So we're up to 9 on this one. This is much better than I thought it was going to be. It has a Indiana bourbon flair to it that I recognize so many different times in bourbons, but still good. Um, I got to give that one a 4 also out of 5. Taste-wise, these all are good. Now I have to decide if this 10-year, oh, that sip, that did it. I will say the Bard 10-year, wow, the sweetness on that one. It's a combination of these two, but on steroids. So if, based off of giving these two good, it's almost like if you mix those two and you put that in and aged it a little bit longer, you come up with that. So I'm going to give this Bard 10-year, I'm going to give it for taste a 5. So now we are 9, 9, 12. So now we're talking finish. And this is where it's not fair. This bottle, I thought from the time I opened it, it was fantastic. Thank you, Kim, for giving uh, gifting this bottle to me at the end of the 2025 Kentucky Bourbon Festival. I've coveted it. It means so much to me. There's certain bottles that how you obtain them means so much, but also it's like I can't wait to share a pour with you coming up. I'm gonna make sure that the Scotchy Bourbon Boys at one point get to the Bard Distillery for to just you guys are doing a great job. That is something that's unique and well worth the special value that it is gotten and put out. So I really appreciate you sharing that bottle with us. All right, so now comes the fun part. Drink. Here we go. Finish. The finish on America's 47. The finish at this point on this one is very unique, almost Scotchish. Long, I would say mid to long. It is honey. I will say it's smoky, and I kind of pull. What am I pulling? Smoky and a little bit. It's a little bit. I would say a smoky honey finish, and at 5, medium finish. I'm not a huge fan of that Scotch finish, and this has it with a little bit of sweetness. So I'm not going to take it down, but I will give it a 3 out of 5, which will take this to a 12 out of 18. So it's above average. In my opinion, 9 out of 18 is right at the average bourbon. All right. So now we're on to the finish on the 45-47. Let's see. We'll make sure it's the right one. Yep. The Patriots Edition. Here we go. All right. So this one is medium. It's not medium to long. And what would you say? As far as the Patriot Edition, it's its weakest point, but it's sweet, but it's sweet in a way of just sugar. And there's no complexity at all. I don't think it drops it to a 2. It keeps it at a 3, and that's another 12. And I got to give these two bottles a 12 out of 18 because honestly, I think they're good. I enjoyed both of them. Wasn't what I was expecting it from the America's 47. But this one on TV, the marketing was not expecting what this one's worth a little bit. It's worth buying for the whiskey in the bottle, not just the collector value of it. All right, so we're at Cinder and Smoke. We're already at 12, and we could give up to 5 on this finish. This finish is long. There's definitely oak. There's a sweetness of oak. A little bit char, which is cinder and smoke, smoky char. I think it definitely pulls off a 4. This bottle. So the char aspect is the part of, so the American 47 pulls off a Scotch, excuse me, sure, a sneeze, but the Cinder and Smoke pulls off a char, and there's a big difference between peat. Not that the 47 has peat, but it reminded me of that little bit of peaty smoke opposed to the char smoky aspect. There's definitely that there. Throughout this whole process, I'm going to give the finish a 4. It's long. It's got some char. If I was a Scotch drinker where I enjoyed that, my score would be a 5 on this finish. If you like Scotch, Cinder and Smoke is for you. It's a fantastic. It delivers sweetness. It delivers proof. It delivers body. The whole thing's there. So I give it a 4, which takes us from 12 to 16. And on this old Louisville whiskey company bourbon bottle breakdown, the order tonight is 16 for Cinder and Smoke by the Bard Distillery. 16 out of 18, which is a pretty damn good score. That is a good bottle. It's a 10-year. It's not like, let's just say, the marketable 10 years. This one is at the level of who are, as they were aging this and putting this down and doing everything what they're doing with these 10, this, if I'm not mistaken, let's just go back up here. I want to say 3 barrels. Sure. Grab up the other glasses. Oh, don't drop that. Oh, really? You're going to drop those? And please. And I'm going to get up and pick those up because that's like dropping. I just don't understand sometimes how that works. All right. So. But it is a batch. And I remember reading. I'm looking. All right, but I can tell it's $4.97. It's right around. It's probably at 10 years. It's probably exactly what I thought. A 3-batch barrel. But we'll the final batch. All right. So, anyways, that pulls off a 16 out of 18. And I don't know why and that's first place. America's whiskey and 45-47 pull off 12 out of 18. So 16 out of 18, and they both tied for 12 out of 18. So there you go, everybody. I don't see anybody who's normally on tonight. I will do exactly what I always do at this point, and we're going to finish up. We got the Bard. So they said, oh, cool. The Bard Distillery responded that they would love for us to visit, and we would love to visit there. So Kentucky in the summertime is the time to visit, not in the wintertime. So there you go, what we got, and that finishes up that segment of the Old Louisville Whiskey Company in Louisville, Kentucky. All right, our barrel bottle breakdown is finished. That brings us to, this is where the fun part is. I have an outline. I have never had an outline before, but I love the fact that I have outlines now. Let's see. Is that it? Is that what I want? Yep, there it is. All right, here we go. Yep, we did the bottles. I think that's where I found the Cinder and Smoke 10-year, age 10-year name suggests. Tasting notes. It doesn't say. With deeper barrel influence, a 10-year age small batch bourbon. I thought maybe. Okay, so we're at 3. All right. So I would say with the Cinder and Smoke, you're gonna it would be okay, but this is a 10-year. So if I was gonna do anything as far as a cocktail goes with the Cinder and Smoke, I would add a splash of water at 100 proof. It'll handle it. Maybe put it on the rocks. That's but I wouldn't. The flavor is complex, and all you're looking to do with a little bit of water is open up that complexity a little bit. Uh, the America's 47 at this point, that one would be the one that if I was going to I would make America's 47 Old Fashioned, but the 45-47 would mix with anything. We're talking about juice, soda. This one has a sweetness that would even sweeten up your drink even more. This definitely works out of the three for the mixers. This is what I'm grabbing for to make everything except the old fashioned. Now the cinder and smoke probably would make a good old fashioned, but I still wouldn't want to do that to it. I thought, like I said, a splash of water or put it on the rocks. So that's what I would go that way. Now we already ranked the order. We have cinder and smoke first. And then we have America 47 and the other one. They are tied for second. So that's pretty good. As I'm not sure as far as the value goes. If I'm not mistaken, when these were purchased, I got it. The America's 47 was a little bit more than the cheapest one here is the 45-47, and it should be that's pretty much where we're at with that. Now, I ended up half and half. I should be back over here. Um, so we got Barrel Craft Studies. He's about to finish his bottle of Taylor. I mean, I will say, do you got anything from, he wants to know what he should open up next. Well, uh, Booker's. I would say if you got any Booker's, I would open up a Booker. Or if you have anything from Preservation Distillery, especially Old Man Winter, I would open that. That's our Kentucky bourbon. That's our Scotchy Boys bourbon of the year, the Old Man Winter. Uh, Also, he finished off his bottle of Taylor. So if you're gonna go, how about a Weller Full Proof? If you got one of those, let me know. All right. Anyways, remember, Alan Bishop tomorrow, same time, same back channel. He is now at Old Homestead Distillery and Barrel Crescent. He said, but okay, with some love. What do you got? Let me know what you're thinking about opening. And then he's going to be on, and what he is promoting is the Black Forest Spirits, which I have another Black Forest Spirits. I've got two of those. I wonder if the other one is within reach. It could be, but it's just like, yep, there it is. Nope. And I have dropped everything under the sun. Oh my God. Nope. His Black Forest Spirits. I will have to find it before tomorrow's, but this one is this bottle is called the Whitcliffe Bell. And we are going to be reviewing that because he's got some spirits. This is barrel aged, and as a master distiller, and alchemist, Alan Bishop is the full package. We will be tasting that and talking where the direction of where he's going, the direction. We're going to talk about how everything we thought 2 years ago, where things were going and where they are now is completely different. And it's really kind of cool. So, Alan Bishop, Master Distiller and Alchemist of the Black Forest, will be on tonight, tomorrow night, not tonight, tomorrow night, Tuesday night for our standard podcast. Remember, Thursday, no podcast on Thursday night. Look for us live, probably afternoon on Friday afternoon, hopefully. And then I should load that podcast audio Tuesday afternoon of the next week. Nothing that Thursday and back at it. I believe would be March 3rd. I'm back Monday, March 2nd. Tuesday, March 3rd will be the podcast that we start off. Um, after Alan's Tuesday the 17th podcast. So, all right, everybody, remember, we are the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. I'm Tiny. Um, Roxy, Super Nash, CT, and Whiskey all wish you a good night. Remember, good bourbon equals good times and good friends. Make sure that I should have went www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Make sure you check us out for our Glens, our t-shirts, our bourbon balls. Make sure you listen to us or watch us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, X, and TikTok, along with Patreon. Make sure that you listen to us on Apple, iHeart, Spotify, and anywhere else that you can listen. We're there. So, whether you listen to us, watch us, make sure that you listen, like, subscribe, and leave good feedback. We become a member. Just support us. Every cent that we take in goes right back into the bourbon, into the travel, back into equipment. We're basically reinvesting until I start doing this full time, which we just keep getting closer to. Remember that good bourbon equals good times and good friends. Don't drink and drive, drink responsibly, and live your life uncut and unfiltered. And our theme song is going to take us out. Where's the play? There's still time, Matt Acoustic, for broken bottles. Just remember, everybody, I'm going to let you in. I'm going to put a link. Taste through the whiskey on the rocks and knee. All right, let's. All right, anybody on Facebook or YouTube who wants to join me, I sent out the YouTube or the Zoom. I sent out the Zoom. All right, here we are. If you want to join us live, the Zoom link is there. I don't know who all watched, but a lot of people did not. All our regulars, I knew this would happen. They're just regular Tuesday, Thursday. Don't always pay attention to what's happened on Facebook and whatnot, but I'm here. Anybody on YouTube or anybody on Facebook, join us. What I'm going to do is send the Zoom. That's uploading. Why will that not grab and move? Oh, I locked up. There it is. I will send the Zoom link. Let's do it here. What the fuck? There's something going on here, but all right. I will wait a couple minutes. I'll upload that. Happy Halloween. I must be, oh my God, I must, all right. My hand was on. Wouldn't even do it. All right, genre. Let's see if I could get Nash on. I will text him here. I'm trying to get someone to come on. I'm trying to get Steve to come on. God damn it. All right. Now we'll try and get, we got Steve, John. We've done Steve. Let's do John. Stuff. Were you listening? Oh, you're not. Okay, Walker. I will put you up. I don't know how I can get this over. Get it over. All right. What'd you think of that one? Yeah, for sure. I invited everybody else, but no, it was a lot of people not watching because it's Monday night, not Tuesday night or Thursday, right? Yeah, I knew that. Well, from the standpoint of Facebook initially, there was a lot of people on, a lot more than normal. Like I was up to like 114 at one point. I'm liking the way that I look tonight. Although I was put it this way, um the I had to do this podcast tonight. I didn't want to miss out because Macaulay jumped the last one, right? When you think about it. And it was rough to get it through because it took Roxy out of her thing. We're supposed to take Alice back because she was off before President's Day, and I was able to get a workout in, take Alice back, and set up the podcast, plus be ready to go the whole 9 yards. You know what I mean? So so let's since it's just me and you, I threw it out to a bunch of other people. Like I texted John Ritt direct. Do you think at one point like we could probably invite Randy and he'd probably come in? He just didn't know it was happening, right? He didn't have to be at work today. Today was President's Day. Nobody had to be at work at President's Day. Did you work today? I'm in recycling. We work today. So what about did you gifted me the 14 year, right? Or the 15? Did you got one? All right. Okay. So that's the I'm gonna go over and get my old man winter. Uh, which you picked up at the distillery after I made it our bourbon of the year, right? What did you pick up that the cast strength old man winter? Yeah, it right. And I liked that just as much as you did. I just like I went with the Christmas one, the one they hadn't released in forever. This is ironic that this 4547 is 46 proof. So it covers all the presidents. That's because you opened it up in the bottle and let it sit. The Cinder and Smoke is a fantastic whiskey, you know? So we didn't have to hear you. comparatively to the last time, when Macaulay was on, how many people did we have? I think at one point we had 10. Yeah, but they were all on the Zoom at once. It was. There was Macaulay, John, Seth, Knobs was on, and then, but there was also Ricky. No, Ricky. Wait. There was one other person though. Was it the girl? There was. I know, but there was one. Yeah, but Anne, you're right. And so, I mean, there was like 8 or 9. Seth, it was crazy. That was like what I wanted. That's what I always imagined. You know what I mean? Yep. No. Let's see. All right. 9:50. I'll take us off Facebook and YouTube. We could talk a little bit, and then I gotta load this and go upstairs. You're eating something that I don't. Um, I'll have popcorn is a good thing to eat. Ah, Old Man Winter. The caramel on this is unfreaking believable. I don't know. I just don't know. The cast strength makes it better because how can it be better? The caramel on this is just phenomenal. What's the proof?
Get my knife.
Well, I mean, why is 109.8? Is that cast strength? What's your?
I'm looking for this one. Mine is 116.8.
Yeah, I mean it's 109.8. Bourbon whiskey from the black. Old Man Winter affects our chilly winters. Bottled by this. Okay. When it says cast,
my regular bottle is 109.8.
How much is your regular bottle?
Regular bottle is 109.8. The other is 118. Let me go back.
I mean, that's not much different.
116.8. It's not much different, but it was also a barrel pick, so
I mean,
that can make a difference.
Of course, that's why. All right, there we go. I gotta do this all again. The reason why I'm gonna cruise is because I gotta do this all again tomorrow night. I've had, honestly, I poured myself an ounce of each. So we're looking at, let's just say I did an ounce and a half. So 4.5 ounces. And then, I mean, wouldn't you say that's about an ounce?
Maybe less. Maybe 3/4.
That's what I poured. So let's just say I had 2 pours tonight. That's what I gotta rest on my laurels of that one. And then we're gonna do this tomorrow. We're doing this tomorrow night with Alan. Have you seen any of the promotions for this stuff with me
I have
and
not.
Alan? You should go to my Facebook and check out the promotion, because with me and Alan, it's pretty cool. I mean, I had a picture of us standing like side by side with the still in between us with our hats on. And then I'm like, AI, put us back to back. AI, put us shoulder to shoulder. And then he's standing next to me in the bar. I got my hands on the bar. And then we both put our elbows on the bar and look at each other. I mean, it's pretty cool.
That last one sounds like it would be cool. For sure.
And I knew doing this one would be a little bit off. Put you guys off. Right?
That's how it is sometimes.
Have you seen Alan's post for the Whitcliffe Bell? Where he was posting.
Not yet, no.
He was posting this underneath the actual bell. Yeah, he's been pushing it, so it should be fun tomorrow night.
Sure.
And then I'm gonna be Friday morning early. We're gonna leave early, so I gotta pack Thursday night. Have the car packed before I go to bed. I can't believe I pulled this podcast off tonight. It was like, Walker, I was like had to drive an hour and 5 up and an hour and 5 back, and I was able to do the hour and 5 in 50 minutes up and 50 minutes back with the 10-minute. My wife put in 10. I was wondering if it looked like someone was trying to come in.
Oh.
Nope, it just says 2 people.
What?
John's
like talking to my friend.
John's like, there's no way I'm coming on 2 nights in a row. Trying to think what's upstairs that's healthy. Who knows? There's a lot upstairs. Ooh. We'll see. Well, I'll end it off of YouTube right now. I think it's about 200 on YouTube, maybe 100. I don't know. At one point it was up to 10, 11, and then it was off. Wasn't a huge YouTube night. All right, everybody on YouTube, thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow night.
Night, y'all.